Hey peeps, I'm Atmosphere, and today I'd like to show you if you're using the right settings for your PlayStation 2 emulator to get a good 60 frames per second, which does depend on the game itself. So, there's a bit leeway there, but I assume you want to record a game like Madden, okay? What I do is I always get the Git development set with the PS2 emulator because they always update it and it actually improves. Like right here, boom, they fixed something for Metal Gear Solid 3. Down here, they fixed geometry shader. So they're always making it better. So I always try to have the latest Git build, which is really good. Save file. Once that's done, go away. All you do once you download a Git, if you haven't done that before, is you have to find the program files where your PS2 emulator is. And then you just take all that, throw it in there, replace the files, do this for all the files. Boom, done. You now have the latest Git build for the PS2 emulator. So all you have to do is boot it on up, which will bring you through the default settings, import the files if you have any. And right there, bam. Latest Git build, made July 3rd, 2017, because today is the 5th. All right, so we have Madden 07. You want to go to your video core GS settings. And for me, I always do the preset, make sure it's checked off. I always have it at 2 for safe or balanced between the two. For if I was doing Need for Speed Most Wanted, I would need that on 4 for aggressive just to get a good frames per second. Other than that, I don't use the game fixes or speed hacks or anything because it's all just enabled in preset. So you don't have to tamper with any of that stuff, which is really nice. I mean, if you're trying to do a game and it's not getting the proper frames per second that you want, you're more than welcome to tamper with these. All you have to do is decheck that and then bam, fix it to what you'd like. More than 95% of the time, it'll be the VUs, sometimes like clamping mode, or speed hacks. You'd want to change this around. So if that's all set and good, boot up the ISO, 907.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Boom. So what I like to do before I do an official episode for a series, or the first episode for a series, I mean, is I'll do a play test just to make sure that it runs decent. So I'll do like a quick game, or for Need for Speed Most Wanted, I did a quick race. For Conflict Desert Storm, I started the first level, played a little bit of that, and then...
We're coming to you from the Metrodome here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The much-anticipated matchup of NFC North teams as Minnesota squares off against Green Bay.
All right, so now that that's up and running, you can also tamper with, if you go to your config video settings, go to your plugin settings. This will also determine if your computer can push out decent gameplay. So for adapter, you'd want your graphics card, which is for me the NVIDIA, not the Intel, which is the built-in in the motherboard. Nope, gotta use the GeForce. For renderer, depending on the game, you want to do either DirectX 11 if you can, hardware, or DirectX 9. Software is more if for like the very first Conflict Desert Storm that I did, because if you did hardware, it had this weird flashing black box in the corner, and it was just bad. The reason why you want hardware is because with hardware, you can do your internal resolution. And for that, you want ×2 or ×4, depending on some games. But, well, here, let me show you. If we go back to native, go to native resolution, and then we just resume add. Look at how pixelated it is, right? So we change that. Plugin settings, we do native ×2. Bam! See how nice and clear it looks? Well, clearer, I should say. Not exactly crystal perfect, but, you know. So that's always one thing you always want to make sure you can do. See, like if we do ×8, I don't even know if that'll. Kick the ball.
They're lined up for the kickoff, so let's get this game started.
×8 resolution actually looks okay.
Longwell will be kicking off.
Getting down there at 45 frames per second.
Swift kick short. From the 17-yard line. Stiff arms the defender to the ground. They'll start near midfield following the return.
Yeah, so for that, internal resolution ×8, computer can't really handle it all that well. Filtering, I normally have it off. You could have it at ×2. MIP mapping, I always try to do basic if I can, but if it really lags or really low frames per second, turn it off. You never want to do full. CRC, just leave it at the recommended. Don't need to enable HW hacks. Hardware hacks is what it stands for. Unless it's, you want to see if you can get the game to look even better and run pretty well. I haven't really encountered any games yet where I had to really try to do these. So I never need them enabled. Other than that, all you have to do is make sure that you have your adapter for your graphics card for your computer. You have at least ×2 native resolution, or internal resolution, I mean. Make it look good. Another thing you also want to look for is for your recording software, the app. For me, hardware acceleration, it would be default at first. And what I found out is when I did my Blitz the League series, there were some ones that I recorded, and they were getting like 10 frames per second, and I couldn't figure out why. Turns out that it was trying to render the game with my Intel graphics card, not my NVIDIA. So it was like pushing them through two graphics cards, one to load it, one to record it, and it just couldn't deal with it because the hard drive was going like, oh my God, which one am I supposed to look at? Is it the NVIDIA or is it the Intel? And my hard drive was just, ugh. So you always want to make sure that your hardware acceleration is the same graphics card as what you're running for your PS2 emulator. If you have two graphics cards, or like say you have two NVIDIA graphics cards, Sure, you could probably do one for recording, one for gameplay. I haven't tried it, so I have no idea if it works or not. Video size also matters for your video day, how much it takes for memory size. I try to do 720. Most times I do 1080 because I'm like, I got 100 gigabytes on my hard drive. I can do it. What that means is if I do 1080, for example, it just means a bigger file for the video and takes that much longer to upload to YouTube. So 720 frame rate, I keep it at 30. For this one, I put it at 50 just for, why not? 60 frames per second also, increases the video memory size. So 30 is good for PS2 emulator games. 60 I highly recommend for, well, Steam games per se. So, you boot up Steam, if it'll boot up for me. In the meantime, what else do you need for PS2 emulator? Audio stuff, I never had to mess around with that stuff because it's all on recommended or default. And it sounds pretty well, so I never had to mess around with the audio. Controllers, I've definitely had to mess around with the Pad 1 because sometimes it wouldn't recognize the Xbox One controller. Dev 9, never had to mess around with. See, bam, left blank. USB, left blank. So those things you never have to mess with. Multi-tap you do for, if you want a lot of people to play, I guess. But that, again, you'd have to mess with the controllers and add more pads and stuff. Memory cards, I always do a big memory card for 32 megabytes. That way I don't have to worry about swapping in memory cards. What else? You plug in selectors. I always do basically the ones that are the most updated, which tend to be this one. If you look at the dates here, it says, 70, 70, 31. Try to do those ones. So the SSE2, Lily Pad for controller, and then everything else is just default except for this one. Well, this one's the most updated, 2017. Yeah. BIOS, I use USA because, well, I don't have any Japan games. That's it for that stuff. And is my Steam loaded up? No? Oh well. Maybe some other time. But yeah, that's mostly what you have to really look for recording a game for your PS2 emulator. Is for the recording software, make sure that hardware acceleration or dedicated graphics card is your one that you're using for the PS2 emulator. So for me, it was the NVIDIA, so I have the NVIDIA checked. Video size 720, highly recommended. 30 frames per second for PS2 games, 60 frames per second for computer games. So that's for the recording one. For PS2 emulator, you want to do config, video, plugin settings, DirectX hardware 11. Oh, a matter of fact, I can actually show you a difference between DirectX 11 and DirectX 9 for Need for Speed Most Wanted. That's the one I can really show. Always ask when. Yeah. So decheck that then, and we want Need for Speed. We want to boot that guy. This on over. Yeah. See it.
Hi, I'm Josie Marin, and
Yes, you are. Alright, so for this quick race, quick play, just get right on into the action. Best way of finding out if you have the right settings or not. Okay. See how it's at like 45, 49, 47. So that's pretty bad. Looks pretty bad. So for Need for Speed, you gotta do plugin settings. You want to do. Oh wait, hold on. Need for Speed. I gotta switch between them so many times that I keep mixing them up. Sometimes you gotta change the preset to aggressive. It's not as choppy. There, back at 63 seconds. All right. So, wanted to show you the difference between DirectX 11 and 9 for this game, for instance. See how it's darker? So, that's why if you can, pushing around once, DirectX 11, boop, and it's much brighter. So, you know, we can exit out of that one, shut that one down, and see if I can. Oh, I gotta browse for. Where is it? Do I? Oh, I must have deleted the Conflict Desert Storm one. Oh well. I was gonna show you the black box on software on hardware mode, and then, but oh well. But yeah, I mean, depending on the game, what's also nice about the PS2 guys, emulator guys, you can actually check the compatibility. So, you know, let's do M for Madden, for instance. Madden 07, boom, green. That means it's playable. Check the notes, see if any additional settings are needed. Like this one, you know, stadium crowd not rendered in software or hardware mode, which they fixed it with the Git build, so which is pretty cool. If we go back, is it? Oh, it's a different window. We go back, we do N for Need for Speed. Gonna have to go over some pages. Most Wanted, playable. Check the notes just in case. It says runs at full speed, which, you know, you need it at least on aggressive for most computers. So, yeah. All right. Well, anyways, I hope that helps you with some problems. I guess. I don't know. This is the first time I actually done something like this, so I hope it helps. If not, there's always the internet. That's where I have to try and find my problems too. So, you know, a lot of it which I love about the PS2 emulator is a lot of it is just trial and error. So, just pick a game, mess around with the presets a little bit. If those don't work, you know, take off the preset and then just try to do the EE cycle rate or the VU cycle stealing. Try to mess around with those. If that's not solving it, just make sure you do your plugin settings. You know, do the renderer, resolution, mip mapping if that helps. If not, turn that off. So, You know, it's all trial and error, but ultimately just make sure, hands down, have it your recording software use the graphics card that you're using on the PS2 emulator, because that it helped me anyways. So I hope it helps you. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in a Let's Play video. And have a great day. Try it out, see if it works. Let me know if it does or not. Try to help.